Joel, shut the fuck up.
I had a recent stint.
Make this a sweeping statement, but I'll say it.
When I was an A&R coordinator, gave me a couple of writers that were, let's say, lost in the, like maybe signed by someone who was no longer at the company.
Yeah, not having a rabbi sucks.
Yeah, I got some of those. I believed in them and I tried my best to work them. And in doing so, I'm setting up sessions. Now I'm having songs I can personally be pitching, and it's really cool. It was a great experience. At the same time, I was outside of work. I started the showcase series at Arlene's Grocery with a friend of mine. We called it No Pulp Music Group. Mm-hmm. Disclaimer, I love pulp in my orange juice. I think she doesn't. So one of the first shows we booked Lizzie Grant, who is Lana Del Rey. It was like one of her first New York shows. I booked the showcase series as a way to grow my own network. Yeah. I needed my own network of peers because everyone I knew were like my boss's relationships or more senior people
Creating
at the
your
company.
own scene.
Anytime I have to give advice to anyone, I was like, do that. Make friends. Your peer group, you're going to grow with your peer group.
Totally. It's totally true.
Yeah. I think as a coordinator, I had this one moment where there was this duo called Carmen. They had like a big viral YouTube video of, it was a cover of Chris Brown featuring Busta, Look At Me Now. Amy from Carmen, like she raps really fast, like crazy fast. And that video is still out there. Yeah. I want to hear you.
No.
Carmen, it was like, it was going viral on YouTube. One of the first things to like truly go viral on YouTube. That helped me get a promotion. Yeah.
Hits are fun. You need to succeed to be rewarded with more success. Or you don't. You can burn the building down and people are like, you're an SVP. Let me switch the topic for a minute. So, like, what's it like being a female creative? I mean, fortunately, I think now in this day and age, you have a lot of like other women that have been leaders, like Jody Gershon and Julie Greenwald. For a long time, it wasn't like that.
No.
So is it still an issue?
I think it's an issue for sure. Like number-wise, statistically, it's still very much an issue. Same with pay, and same with in the creator community. It's very much an issue amongst songwriters and especially producers. I think there's a lot of great advocacy groups trying to touch on this, which I love, such as She Is the Music, Women in Music, Key Change. On the business side, I still think it's an issue. One good thing about being an underrepresented woman on the business side, when I was younger, I think I can say this. This is fine.
You can say whatever you want.
It was a Billboard Women in Music lunch. I was at Sony when I was young, and it was like top executives at this lunch. It was like all Jody was getting honored, but she was LA based. So in New York, though, there were not many women, at least A&Rs, or sync. There were a lot of women in sync in LA. However, there in person, there weren't many women. I remember vividly, someone moved me to sit next to Marty on the other, and then Jody was on the other side. When the camera would come out, in photos, it looked like there were more women. And in my head, I'm like, I'm happy that is why I get to be here. I wasn't happy. It was an interesting moment. Yeah. Those lunches were so inspiring to me. I remember holding back tears. I was so like starry-eyed, and I still am, and I still look up to all those people. It's an honor to be able to like be in positions as my career grew to be able to work with them now.
100%. Kim Frankovich, who I worked with at Amalgam, was like the EVP of Creative Worldwide at Concord. Like, there's a lot of powerful women in these like publishing roles, and now you're one of them too.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'm really proud of you.
Is there anything else you wanted to drop about your career path, or how people can get into this like role, or is the music business even worth getting into anymore? Like, I've had a kid call me the other day, and he's like, I think I'd be good at A&R, and I'm like,
don't do it.
Don't do it. The jobs are like paying half the job.
No, not only that, but it's like, to me, like A&R, like, especially at a label, is like investment banking.
Yeah. I was like,
There's
are you
so
a good data analyst? And he's like, no. And I'm like, then you can't do it.
Yeah.
Days of gut feeling is over.
Fortunately for publishing, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, like, you can take a gamble on like young songwriters that may not have anything going on just because they're brilliant. It doesn't mean necessarily their advance will equal that, but the support inside the building will.
Yeah.
But then conversely, if somebody's commercially successful and they want a big check, you can compete on that level as well. So it's kind of like, you're not really, as a publisher, you're not really locked into one position. As a label, they're like, they only award commercial success that already happened. There's no artist development anymore. They don't care about that. You have to develop outside the building. You have 30 million streams, therefore we're going to give you a pre-approved mortgage of X amount. And we maybe might ruin your career.
I had 2 back-to-back conversations yesterday with managers who manage artists that I'm interested in, and both of them came up that, the managers were very grateful that they feel they're building real fan bases and the music is really speaking to people and it's not just a viral hit that everyone's chasing right now. One of my favorite new artists right now, and I really want to sign him. The music is just so great. The numbers are not there, but you hear the music and you're like, it's just...
It'll get there.
It's going to get there instantly in a way where I'm like, I hope it doesn't get there too quick so I have a chance. Like, it's to a point where I think majors just throw everything at them. If you take a lot of money, it's all recoupable, and oftentimes the terms will reflect that. So you're in these often long-term deals.
Totally.
Or champions might,
Most likely
it's musical chairs. They might not be there.
They'll most likely leave once their deal's up.
Kind of like betting on your future.
And what happens when you run out of money? You're mowing lawns?
Yeah. What you said about like people at some point just want a big check.
Yeah.
I think that's true, especially probably on the artist label side.
Right.
For publishing, I think it's almost like indie distro.
Yeah.
We had a similar pitch when we worked together.
Yeah,
it was,
totally.
this is for some people. It might not be for everyone. If you're that person trying to get like a big label deal and, $1 million advance, like, go, if that's all you want, fine. You go get that. But if you want a deal like where you're going to recoup your advance and be, maybe it's shorter term, maybe you don't get a lot up front, but you're making your own earned money instantly.
Agreed.
It's not because it's recoupable. I don't know, but sometimes people need money right up front for some reason. What I like about Killphonic is we can like get creative. We just want it to make sense. We don't want to have anyone to be in a deal that they're unhappy with or that they're not going to get out of. We want them to make money.
Yeah,
totally
the whole point
sense.
is like, this is your money.
Yeah.
You're just getting this so that you can make more art and then commercialize that art and get more money.
But to answer your question, would I like advise people to get into A&R?
I mean, when you started, it's a different animal, you know, so as to where now, like, if we're talking about getting into it, how would you even start getting into it?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I don't know either. I mean,
really
I did it for 30
grateful.
years, and I'm like, I don't know.
They're so few and far between. I feel so grateful. I feel like I'm unworthy. Like, how?
Yeah. We both entered that job when it was still, like, relatively, like, choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
And you could be really good at one thing, but I mean, I've often said A&R is like 4 jobs, especially at a label. It's like signing, right? Like, I love you, you love me, let's get married. Taking the record, taking them on the creative journey, including co-writing.
Running it through the building.
Yeah, running it through the building. And as David Kahn says, number 4 is awards for those not involved.
If I hear a song from any of the many things that I wasn't able to go after because like maybe it was I was always a little too early, especially when I was at Sony, too early for them. And so there are superstars now where it's like, we had a chance. I tried.
No, A&R's opinion at the end of the day. Some of it's more refined than others, but no one has a monopoly on good taste.
Right.
You know, that's the brilliance about it is what's good to you might suck for me.
Yep.
How does one get in touch with Killphonic?
Yeah, you can find us on Instagram at Killphonic Rights and our website, which I think is killphonicrights.com.
Thank you so much for coming through. We really appreciate you.
I just want Joel to rap now.
Oh, I don't want to rap. No, I don't have anything prepared. But I do like lay down on a cut, like if more of a Euro rap style.
We could go band for band. Fuck that. We can go M for M.
And he's also a famous opera singer. He's fairly big between Trenton and Princeton.
Yeah, I run the gamut.